Bitcoin's sitting near all-time highs right now, around $100,000, and everyone I know in crypto, they're scared, like genuinely terrified. The fear and greed index is at 28 right now, which means we're in fear territory, not greed. We're seeing fear at all-time highs, which doesn't make any sense, right? Except here's the thing. When I actually looked at what's happening underneath all this fear, I realized something. This might not be a top, this might be the most uncomfortable part right before things actually take off. And if you sell now because of how it feels, instead of looking at what's actually happening, you might be making the same mistake everyone makes right before crypto goes to all-time highs again. Look, I completely get why you're nervous. I'm nervous too. Your altcoins are probably down 70, 80, maybe 90% from their peaks. Bitcoin's at 100,000 and your Ethereum bag hasn't moved. Your Solana's bleeding. That random altcoin you bought, forget about it. And you're watching Bitcoin dominance sitting at 59%, which means Bitcoin is sucking up all the money while everything else is dying. And your brain is screaming at you saying, I've seen this before in 2018, everything died. 2022, everything died. It's the top, you need to get out. You're not wrong for feeling this way. The charts look scary, your portfolio looks scary, and every crypto influencer is either doom posting or trying to sell you a course on Twitter. But here's what nobody is telling you. There's a huge difference between fear at the top and fear during a healthy market that's just uncomfortable right now. And the way you figure out which one you're in, you look at what's happening underneath the surface. Think about crypto like a casino again. In 2021, when we actually were at the top, the whole casino was packed. Every table was full. People were winning everywhere. Bitcoin was pumping. Ethereum was pumping. Dogecoin was pumping. Your random altcoins that you're buying every single day were at all-time highs. And everybody was making money and posting screenshots on Twitter. That's euphoria. And that's the exact point where you should be fearful. Now imagine you walk back into that same casino today. Bitcoin's table is packed. There's more money there. Everybody's playing, but you look around, every other table pretty much empty. People are standing around those tables looking nervous, wondering if they should even sit down. That's not euphoria, that's fear. And historically in crypto, fear at high prices is actually bullish, not bearish, because it means there's still a ton of people on the sidelines with money who haven't jumped in yet. So let's talk about this fear and greed index because it's wild right now. The index is at 28, which means it's in fear territory, but Bitcoin's near all-time highs. So how does this even happen? In late 2025, the index actually hit 75%, which is extreme greed territory. Everyone was excited about Bitcoin potentially hitting 100,000. Then in November 2025, it crashed all the way down to 13%, which is extreme fear. And all of this happened while Bitcoin was still trading at really high levels compared to history. Here's what's actually happening. Retail investors, regular people like me and you, were scared. We remember 2021. We remember losing money. We're cautious, but institutions, they're buying. The ETF flows are still coming in. Companies are still adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. So you've got this weird split where price is at high levels because big money is accumulating, but the sentiment is low because regular people are terrified. So let me show you what an actual top looks like in crypto because this isn't it. In 2021, the fear and greed index was at 70 or 80%, even 90 for a few months, not days, but months. Coinbase was #1 in the App Store. Your barber was talking about Shiba Inu. Your mom was asking how to buy Dogecoin. That is a euphoria phase. Right now, most people I know don't even want to talk about crypto, or they're complaining about how much money they lost. In 2017, the same thing. Everyone was a genius. Everyone had a moonshot altcoin. Every random project was doing an ICO raising millions of dollars in minutes. Now, most altcoins can't even get attention. 90% of the top altcoins are still way below their all-time highs. Bitcoin's near its high, but almost nothing else is. That's not euphoria, that's concentration. Now let's talk about Bitcoin dominance because this is where it really gets interesting. Bitcoin dominance is at 59% right now. That means 59% of all the money in crypto is in Bitcoin. The rest is spread across random altcoins. And people are freaking out about this. They're saying Bitcoin dominance is too high. This is what happens before everything crashes. But here's what they're missing. In past cycles, yes, high Bitcoin dominance came at the tops, but those were retail-driven cycles. This cycle is different. Institutions are driving this, and institutions don't just dump money into random altcoins. They start with Bitcoin because that's the safest. It already has its ETFs, it's already very liquid, it's the blue chip of the crypto market. Then, once everything is comfortable, once Bitcoin stabilizes, that's when the money starts rotating into other things. First, Ethereum, then other DeFi projects, and eventually more and more protocols. A lot of people in the market are speculating that Bitcoin is creating a triple top, which means it's about to break down. And when Bitcoin dominance breaks down, that's when all the altcoins start running. History shows that when Bitcoin dominance drops below 50%, that's usually when you get the full out altcoin season. And right now we're at 59%. So your altcoins are bleeding and you're thinking, this is 2018 all over again, everything's going to zero. But if you actually look at what's happening, in Q4 2025, about 50% of all 100 altcoins outperformed Bitcoin over a 90-day period. That is an early sign of rotation into all these altcoins. And it's not going to be parabolic right now. You still have to get over that euphoria phase. And institutions are getting involved. 38% of new crypto investments from institutions in Q4 went into altcoins, not Bitcoin. They're buying DeFi projects, they're buying tokenized real-world assets, they're buying things with actual use cases. Here's the thing though, this altcoin season, if it happens, it's not going to look like 2017 or 2021. It's not going to be a very random coin pumping 50x. It's going to be selective. The quality of projects with real-world adoption, real revenue, real use cases, those are going to break out hard. The garbage coins, the meme coins with no fundamentals, a lot of them are probably going to be bleeding or go sideways forever. And honestly, that's healthy. That's how markets start to mature over time. This is the part most people don't understand yet. The game changed when Bitcoin ETFs launched. In 2017 and 2021, retail drove everything. Retail is emotional. Retail panic buys, retail panic sells, retail creates these huge euphoria crashes. But now institutions are in the game, and institutions don't trade like retail. When they see fear at high prices, they don't panic, they accumulate. They're long players, they're thinking in the years, not weeks. So when you see the fear and greed index at 28, Bitcoin's near 100,000, that's not the market being broken. That's retail being scared while institutions are accumulating and buying Bitcoin. The ETFs have brought billions, if not trillions of dollars into the market, and that money isn't going to leave anytime soon. So you remember 2021 vividly. You remember the euphoria. You remember altcoins going crazy. You remember thinking you were a genius, and then everything crashed. You remember losing money. You remember feeling stupid for not selling. So now, when Bitcoin gets near all-time highs, your brain instantly goes, wait, I know this pattern. High prices equal a crash is coming. Sell now before I lose everything. But your brain is comparing apples to oranges. In 2021, we had over $1 trillion in retail fund flows. Right now, we've had over 100 billion. In the last 6 months, that's not even close to the same. And in 2021, we also had 0% interest rates, and the government was printing money and handing out stimulus checks. Now, interest rates are at 4.5% and there's no free money. In 2021, everyone was in crypto. Now, most people are even scared to join crypto. And the worst part is, right now, everybody's getting rugged on meme coins and there's no actual use case. So here's how I think about all of this right now. When I see Bitcoin near all-time highs and everyone's scared, I ask myself, is this fear showing me reality, or is this fear showing me that we're in the same type of market that doesn't match my expectations? So when you see headlines about fear at all-time highs and you see your altcoins bleeding and you don't want to panic sell, just remember this. Markets don't care about your feelings. They care about the structure. And right now, that structure looks like we're setting up for the next phase, not ending the current one.